Welcome to his house, where we gon' run our mouth, while sipping purty, that's purty, yeah, that's on me. Hey y'all, what's up? Let's get into it. We're here to talk about everything CJ So Cool, family, royalty, the kids, all that situation. Because I have a little bit of something to say about it. Of course, I have my opinion, so I'm gonna speak on it. The you thought you at the his house. Welcome to the motherfucking his house. Why you here? Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. Yeah, that part. Per T on me. And yeah, let's get right into it. Let me know how you feel down below. Okay, right into it. So apparently, CJ So Cool is wanting custody of his children, and I would think there's nothing wrong with it, even though it's a little shocking and surprising. But at this point, I agree with them, and this is just my opinion. Feel free to have your own opinion and state it down below in the comment section. I do read the comments, and I do respond most of the time. If you don't want me to respond, just say don't respond. And I won't, okay? Alright. I'll do you that big one. So at the same time, what I wanted to say is, now, CJ, to be honest, was a person that I want to be like, oh yeah, give him kids. So let's start there. Let's be clear that no, he would have been, that was not my first choice for saying get the kids. But I will say this. In this situation, I can kind of agree with him on why he feels that way. And so we're just going to be here to talk about it. And that just is what it is. Let's get into it. So at the end of the day, he is a man who has been doing a lot since his separation. And I say that to say this because I feel like when you leave somebody and you separate from somebody, let that be that. But all this extra drama, all this extra headache is not needed. Don't get me wrong. I was the first person to say that CJ was wrong for leaving royalty or not trying to make it work because he decided to have kids with her. And I feel like loyalty is a very loyal woman for CJ. And if anything, I'm always take loyalty side over CJ. And besides in this situation. But at the end of the day, the court is going to be the decider. They're going to make their own decision. And it is what it is. Okay. So, with that being said, let's get back to the situation. CJ appears to me as a person who, even though it's not really nothing to do with the conversation, that he don't like being by himself. Because as soon as he left royalty, he moved somebody else in. Same thing happened the last time he and royalty split. He had another female work, with him, and then royalty came back. He moved her out. So I'd be like, where he getting these women? But I guess it's DMs, right? Everybody that's making money, everybody that's popping, their DMs are full, including royalty. All right. If people know you, your face is out, people are going to be hitting you up. Some of it for pure intentions, and some of it is for rather unpure intentions. It just is what it is. So you got to figure this thing out and maneuver. But I will say this, despite how I may feel about CJ and how he runs things, how he does things or whatever, and despite the fact he may just need people around, that's his prerogative. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really like how he's been treated recently. And I'm the first person, I do not avidly watch his channel, but I have watched it. And to be honest, it's not my first time I've had opinion about him. But at the end of the day, it's like this man almost lost his livelihood. And at the end of the day, I think his kids were with him at the time, but they just weren't at the house. But I could be mistaken. So at the event that his livelihood is endangered for that reason, or possibly I would say, okay, yeah, maybe the kids don't need to be with him. But at the same time, if every time he goes to receive his children, there's a problem, there's a back and forth, And you got to be concerned about your safety, people knowing your location, because I'm sure just like everybody else, the thought crossed people's mind that when something said happened to him, it could have been due to the association of his baby mama and who she knew, and the newer person that she jumped into a relationship with was Rico after she broke it off with CJ. And up until that time, it was good. Now, true enough, it didn't mean that Royalty wasn't mad at him. It didn't mean that she may not have had nothing to do with it. Or somebody else may have had something to do with it. We don't really know. No. But we do know the activity has increased on his livelihood since the breakup. So, with that being said, I probably wouldn't want to be by myself either. And, but you get over it. You'll get over it. But at the same time, it's like every time I try to see my kids, it's a back and forth. Like, that's what I don't have time for. And at the end of the day, like, maybe there do need to be a go-between. Or, I don't know why some people don't do it. My friend was telling me about a situation where you can do a certain time period. Like, let's say you want to have custody for, maybe y'all want to switch back yearly, or maybe y'all want to switch back monthly. There's people that do dual custody that way. And you can really put the time on it how you want to do the time. But if it's going to be traumatic, if it's going to be volatile, abusive, safety hazards, you got to work out different arrangements, and it just is what it is. And considering the fact that his children are so young, he definitely wants to probably treasure those moments as when they get older. So of course he wants to see his kids, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to deal with the drama. So for that, I'll be like, okay, I can see why he would say that. But at the same time, regardless if the kids are with him or whatever, if the boyfriend had anything to do with what happened to him, or maybe some people he may know that know the boyfriend, then it's still a safety issue that way as well, And it's very sad, because at the end of the day, you want to see your kids. You don't ever say, I don't want to see my kids. I don't have time for my kids. You don't ever want to say that. But at the end of the day, that's kind of the situation. So with that being said, I also want to get to the point of, I don't really know what they got going on over there with the Royalty polygamy. Don't get me wrong. I don't have nothing wrong against what they got going on. I'm going to do a series on how I feel about polygamous relationships later. Not today. But my opinion definitely has changed over the years as I've gotten older. But regardless of what situation they have over there, I do remember, if I'm not mistaken, didn't somebody say that he had a situation not so good against him that was supposed to have happened to somebody else's child while they was in his custody? Now, I do remember they said, I think that it was taken off. It was false information or whatever. But at the same time, when you're a parent, you got to adjust. And true enough, the dude don't look, he looked decent. So I can see why Royalty, was mesmerized when she saw him in her DMs, whatever. Even though the person that was talked about looked different to me. I think they were faded. And he has dreads, I believe. I don't really watch them like that. But at the same time, you just have to be careful with that situation. Because at the end of the day, a guilty dog is not going to say, yeah, I did this. They're not going to say that. But let's hope he didn't do it. And let's, whatever. But at the same time, it does seem like he has a lot of animosity towards CJ. For what reason? I'm not sure. And I'm sure Royalty may feel a certain way too. Because like at the end of the day, I gave you some kids. Twins at that. And then you're going to play me. You know what I'm saying? Even though I feel like Royalty can come back anytime. But I feel like CJ, due to the fact that he kind of is considered like a high value guy. He considers his options that he is able to do for himself. That's what, the thought is. He kind of runs his life the way he wants to run it. He probably is not as accommodating as Royalty would like. And probably as we see. All right. But one thing I will say about him, he made sure her and her kids were good. And I feel like if you get a man who could do that, that's somewhat good, and he's not disrespecting you and stuff like that, that's good. But I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes. I really can't speak on that. To be honest, I feel like him, Royalty, and Nike, and Lexi, if he wants to, should be all in the same house together. Especially if he don't want to be by himself. And now that he knows his baby mama, Royalty, is open to polygamous situations, boom, there you go. Forget the fact that you fought Nike. I'm sure y'all can all get along under one roof and make that thing work. You know? So, that's my take on that. But I also have been feeling over the months that said boyfriend Royalty seems to be more concerned about CJ than Royalty. So at the end of the day, that's a problem. It's like, be with Royalty and because you want to be with Royalty, not be with Royalty and then mess with her dude, or use Royalty to get beef back with CJ. Because at the end of the day, CJ don't even know what beef you got with him. If you're not going to be a man about it, have a conversation with the guy, because the guy ain't personally came out his way to say nothing to you, so you really being a bully for nobody knows the reason. And at the end of the day, you knew that CJ was going to be a part of them kids' life before you stepped into their lives. Regardless if CJ is around or not, them kids still going to have a father, one, CJ. That's it. That's period. And so if you can't handle what comes with Royalty and her kids and her background, then don't be with them. Because at the end of the day, I feel like Royalty didn't sign up for you and CJ to be having beef. She signed up for a peaceful, healthy atmosphere. It definitely be giving me vibes that Royalty is just a pawn to this game to get to CJ, and it's really sad, but that's what it gives me a lot of the times. And that's what I've been not wanting to say, but at this point, I mean, what else can you say? I mean, I could say if it was like 1 month and they were going back and forth. They've been going back and forth since before they officially really started dating. Officially, because to be honest, as soon as they start popping out, maybe a month after that, didn't CJ have an incident in his home? Not saying this person had anything to do with it, but people know people that know people that know people. People be talking this and that. Anyway, so sometimes stuff can be guilty by association. But I do know a lot of things have been popping off in CJ direction when it wasn't popping off before. And it's really sad if that's the case, because at the end of the day, Royalty maybe out here thinking that she got chose and that she winning, but the whole time she just a pawn in a scheme. Because it seemed like they want his coin, they want his bank account, they want his jewels, gems, so they can come up and stunt like Royalty and CJ was stunting. Allegedly, that's my opinion. Yeah, that's my opinion. I said what I said. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like when it's all said and done, let's say CJ is gone, you know, because of, not saying because of anybody, I'm just saying, then Royalty left in the dust and out the door. They don't need her no more. You know what I'm saying? That would be a sad situation if that's the case. And if that's the case, yes, the kids are not in a safe environment if that's the time that they are on. And it's kind of giving me that, because like I said, it wouldn't really be a normal situation. I'd be like, oh yeah, the kids need to go with CJ. And the crazy part is, even if the kids were with him, I feel like as long as Royalty got the situation going on with her new situation, it could be still unsafe for those kids. And that's just a sad part, because at the end of the day, it's no longer about CJ at this point, when there's kids in danger, kids' safety being threatened, kids in jeopardy, especially if you come with all that kind of fire, that kind of heat, that kind of za that sends people to the hospital, allegedly, maybe not, apparently maybe so. It's like, no, kids really, I wouldn't really suggest any child to be around that situation, you know. And it's really unfortunate to live your life like that, especially if you have a public situation. Because even if you get all his jewels, and if you get all his this and get all that, it's only going to be temporarily. It'd be better to have a comical a relationship with the person, learn from that person so you can do bigger and better after those moments in time are over with. And if you're just using somebody, let them know. Don't let them find out the hard way. And yeah, so I would say it's this crazy situation. I say polygamy on CJ's side may be an option for the most safe option right now. But even after that, it's like at the end of the day, you want to be comfortable knowing that people know your residence. And comfortability is not comfortable when you know the person that your baby mom, baby father is dealing with don't like you, really don't like you in real life, and you ain't really done nothing to them. At the end of the day, that's, and your home, you had to move on more than one occasion. That's not a good thing, you know. And I don't even rock with CJ like that, but in this situation I do, because it's foul, it's lame. It's like, because I hate, one thing I do hate is when people hide their hand. I can't stand it. Like, do something and hide their hand like they don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be freaking for real. Who else is going to do it? Nobody was worried about CJ, thinking about CJ. Nothing popped off with CJ until this royalty situation came up and she started dating other people. Not saying the person that she dated currently has something to do with it, but somebody she dated may have had something to do with it, unless royalty rolling like that. But I would hate to think that she would do that. You know what I'm saying? But it do seem like she got a little get back in her blood. But at the same time, it's like I have been in situations where I felt unsafe. And sometimes you may want to leave a situation, but due to the fact that you feel unsafe, you feel like you have to stay in that situation. And for that reason, I'd be like, okay, yeah, the kids need to go with him until she can figure out what she want to do and work that thing out. Because sometimes when you get with people, especially if they know how to manipulate a system and they are raised very deep in the streets, they know how to have your mind gone to where you feel like you stuck. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you can feel stuck. Luckily, I haven't never felt stuck with kids, but I've definitely had to leave situations and bow my head secretly and not let nobody find out I was gone. You know what I'm saying? And I would hate it for somebody who has children in that situation to have to do that. And despite all this, royalty may need help. And it's sad, it's unfortunate, but she very much can need help. Because it doesn't appear to me that she would go that far. But if you are put in a situation and your back is against the wall, sometimes you just do stuff that you wouldn't normally do. And that's the sad part, and that just is what it is. And I feel like royalty is just living life the best that she know how. And as long as she's able to survive and thrive, like, she's just rolling with it. And despite, you know, what's on around her. And I just hope that the kids are going to be safe in the situation. I hope that royalty's safe in the situation. CJ, even whoever royalty's dealing with, is safe in this situation. Because at the end of the day, nobody needs to live their life in fear. All because somebody's jealous. Or got beef. Or doing stuff under the cover of some snake-ish. And then acting like they innocent. Like, nobody got time for that. Just be honest. If you don't like me, tell me you don't like me. If you want to off me, tell me you want to off me, and so I can move accordingly. Don't be like, oh, that wasn't me. Oh, the house bombed out, blew up. Oh, that wasn't me. I don't know who that was. You know what I'm saying? Just be honest, be real. I can't stand no shiesty behind your head, behind your face kind of person. Like, if you want to knock me in my face, come into my face and tell me you want to knock me in my face. Like, let me know. Let me know. Don't be like doing that stuff behind my back where I don't know. Like, I can't stand that. Like, if you're going to stand on something, stand on it. Be real about it. You know, you don't have to manipulate nobody. You don't have to make somebody feel there's something going on when it ain't, and this and that. Put people's lives in jeopardy all because you want to leak, you want to fix. Because at the end of the day, if you need 10 G's, you need 15 G's or whatever, the man might even give it to you at this point, just so you can leave him alone. Then Go about your happy business. If that's the case, make a deal. Dang. Because at this point, all right, y'all, let me know what y'all feel, because I've been upset something. But at the end of the day, be real. We don't make no time for this fake ish. But the world is so surrounded by fake ish. Literally, a person will be in your face and won't tell you their true intentions, what they got planned for you. You got to figure that stuff out on your own. And sometimes when you figure it out, it be too late. But at the end of the day, it's a lesson learned. And I don't know. Hopefully they can all come to agreement and conversation. If you want CJ money, just say you want CJ money, and maybe he can tell you what he can give to you, or tell you how you can get some money, because that's very much what it's giving me. And that's just me per T on me. Like, at the end of the day, old boy may not even want dude money, but from the clips that I've seen, royalty is now none motherfucking factor. They don't really even care for her like that. That's my opinion. They probably care for, like, the kids more than the other ones, because they can, I don't know, evidently mess their head up and their life up too, because they cause all this drama and friction between CJ and this and that, and changing their whole life and their world. But at the end of the day, I would say CJ, Nike, Lexi, and whoever else, baby mamas, royalty, Nike, need to come together under one roof. It would be more safer. And I'm sure they can put their differences aside, because at the end of the day, y'all can build a bigger and better things by working and feeding off each other, you know, and use the qualities that you have. Because it seems like right now, the situation that is at hand is very volatile, very sad, nobody got time for this. What you thought?
Well, keep serving tea, and that's on me. All is allegedly, that's per tea. They say that we purty, you like when you do them dirty. They're so thirsty, sipping that purty. Per tea, it's so freaky dirty. Body getting bigger, like stick figures.